Hello, everybody! Yay! That was good. I'm Amy, and we are Be Green with Amy. So, one of the series that we have on the YouTube channel is called, Hey, I Can Make That. Because in our household, Rick is a fabulous cook, and I'm just a sous chef. But every once in a while, I make something. And if it's something that I make, it's something that anybody out there can make. And that's why we call it, Hey, I Can Make That. One of the things about this lifestyle that we learn is that if you make something and you mix in sauces with it, and then you discover after you cooked it all up or whatever, that you didn't like it, now you just wasted the whole dish. So why not find a sauce that you like first? Yes. And if you like the sauce, then you can put it all over your raw or cooked veggies, and you'll know that you like it without wasting all that food and time. So I'm going to put on my surgical gloves. Okay. This recipe is best made with a high-speed blender. We have a Vitamix, but you can also use NutriBullet, which is a less expensive version of it. This one we called Honey, Will You Pass the Dressing? And the reason why we called it Honey, Will You Pass the Dressing is because it kind of has a honey flavor, but we don't eat honey. And it just has a few ingredients, because the Hey, I Can Make That recipe has very few ingredients, 5 or less usually, and it's ingredients that you can easily find in the store. That's what we want, especially if we're a newbie. So what we have here is some cashews. And we don't use the roasted cashews, and we don't use the salted ones because we don't do sugar, oil, or salt. You can just put them in the way that they are, or you can soak them beforehand. It's up to you. So we'll put that in. We have the recipe up here if you want to look at it, and we're also going to put the recipe link in the comments below so that you can get all the exact measurements. Just put in some mustard. We'll add some water in there. Is this hard or what, huh? You know, this is kind of challenging. This calls for dates, and it'll be in the recipe how many. Because we have found a place that we can buy date paste that's already made, so we measure it out that way. So we'll put that in there. So that's going to be really good. And then we're going to put in some vinegar. And you notice that my Vitamix is really full. That's because when we make things, we try to batch cook. You know, if you can make a lot of something and then you have it on hand, then you're not cooking all day long. And then what we're going to do is going to put this on here and put that cover on. In this lifestyle, it's important to protect your heart and all your vital organs, but it's also important to protect your hearing. And we use Vitamix high-power tools a lot in the kitchen. So I have these ear protection, or you could even get earplugs, but these are fun. Okay, here we go. Okay, I think that's it. So, everybody here is going to get a chance to taste it. If you're watching at home, you're going to have to make it and let me know how it turned out for you. And this would be great, trying to get in your raw leafy greens and salads. You can just put that on. Or if you wanted to roast some vegetables, you could put them on top of that, vegetables, and put them in the oven, and we can teach you on how to do it without oil. Do you have any questions? Yes.
How long did you soak the cashews, Amy?
I don't think we soaked them, maybe a couple hours ago we put them in the bag. But a lot of times when we're at home, we're just making things. We don't soak things at all.
In the Vitamix, you don't need to soak them.
With the high-speed blenders, they really are very powerful, so you usually don't need to.
What kind of vinegar?
This happened to be apple cider vinegar. If you didn't have dates on hand, you could probably use raisins. And if you just didn't happen to have that kind of vinegar, maybe you had balsamic vinegar, you could probably, it may not come exactly like that, but that's what we do sometimes. We just don't happen to have the exact ingredient, something similar, and it still works out really fine. And so we'll take this, and at home we have a bunch of glass bottles, and we'll just fill them up and have them in the refrigerator, and it's always ready to go. And that's what it is. If you can batch cook and you can have things ready to go, then when you're hungry, you're not going to go straight in other directions.
How long does that last?
Not very long in our house. But I think it would be okay to keep it for a week in the refrigerator.
Probably longer.
Maybe even longer. I mean, I don't want to tell somebody.
Cashews, dates,
yeah.
And the vinegar.
Yeah, the vinegar. Yeah. It does.
Yes.
That's a very, because we're not using oil,
Mm-hmm.
but the cashews or any other nut that you use, it has its own natural oil. When we do that, it does, and when it sits in the refrigerator, you're going to see the oil from the cashew. And you just mix it up and shake it up, and it'll be fine.
Will it freeze?
I have not tried to freeze it, but I think it probably would. And if I did freeze it, what I would do is I would put it in an ice cube tray. So this way, I could thaw it out quicker, you know.
Does it need to be refrigerated? Because nothing in the ingredients has to be refrigerated.
Right. I feel better about refrigerating it, especially living here, because it just seems like, yeah, I would. I'm really glad that you guys joined us today to watch this recipe demo. I'm glad you guys are tuning in at home and see what you can do with this recipe. Maybe you have some different variations. Let us know what you made and how it turned out. And remember, click up here to subscribe and leave some comments below. And if you didn't click up here to subscribe, remember, click up here to subscribe. Because that lets us know that you enjoy these videos and want to see some more. And if you ring the bell, you'll get notifications when a new one comes out. And in the meantime, remember, be strong.